I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the Meridian Solid Waste Advisory Commission regular meeting for October 23rd, 2024. It is 2 minutes after 4, and we'll start with roll call. Please indicate if you're present. Andy Arriaga, Bethany Guajardo, Mark Nelson,
Present.
Meg Sonnen,
Here.
Scott Walters.
Here.
Steve Corey, present. Divya Dinesh. Sanjay Desam. And Amy Chubajian. We'll move on to ex officio members. Rochelle Klein. Quorum being present, we'll start into the business of the meeting. First item is adoption of the agenda. Are there any comments on the proposed agenda?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the agenda be approved as written. Any further comments on the agenda? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote. All those in favor of approving the draft agenda as written signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. The motion passes. We'll move on to approval of the minutes from the September 25th meeting. Are there any comments on the draft minutes?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes from September 25th as written. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the draft minutes for the September 25th meeting be approved as written. Is there any further comments? Sensing the commission is ready for a vote. All those in favor of approving the draft minutes as written signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, say no. The motion passes. With that, we have 3 new commissioners, freshly minted from Tuesday night's city council meeting. I want to introduce our new youth member, Divya Dinesh. Divya, why don't you take a second and kind of introduce yourself to the commission?
My name's Divya. I'm a junior in high school and I'm 16 years old, and I'm excited to be a part of this commission and give back to the community of Meridian.
And then Sanjay Desam.
Ready? Hope you can hear me. Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Sanjay Dasam. I've been a citizen of Meridian for the last 6 years. Prior to that, I was in Virginia. Married with 2 kids, 9 and 5. Work at Micron. So I've been with Micron for the last 20 years. That's right out of college. I'm in supply chain in Micron. So prior to that, a lot of other stuff, technology, R&D technology transfers, R&D, manufacturing, now in supply chain. So a bit of sustainability is also what we do at Micron. So that attracted me to this commission. So I'm here to learn all the good stuff this commissioners and the stakeholders are doing and contribute to the success of the commission. And I love gardening, so that's my pastime. So.
And then the third member is Amy Chubajian, and she's not able to join us tonight, but hopefully we'll get a chance for her to introduce herself at the January meeting. With that, we'll move into staff program reports. The first portion of that is going to be the monthly presentation on donated services in the franchise agreement.
So this will be our last monthly presentation for the year. And then we'll start over again with some new ones and some revised ones as things change throughout the year. So I wanted to finish up with, we talked about the franchise agreement already and just more general stuff, but we didn't talk about donated services, and this ties into the rates also. So yeah, I just wanted to finish up with this. So here's some photos of some of the donated services that Republic Services donates. Obviously, we're starting into the leaf recycling, the composting. They help out with the Recycle a Bicycle program with SWAC, the recycling of holiday lights, and the donating of a roll-off that adults and kids can paint during the Public Works Week. And here is kind of a list of most of the donated services. I picked out the ones that are regular, what we see and what we interact with throughout the entire year. And on the left-hand side, these are more containers that they donate to the city and the public. The first is what you probably see when you walk downtown, or the trash recycling containers. They service those every week. And then from there, all the city buildings and the parks, and there's a lot of it. So this is kind of chunked up into what type of facility. So we have the city-owned facility, Chamber of Commerce, Meridian Water Department, wastewater plant, City Hall, parks facilities, the pool, the golf course, home court, and then fire and community center. And then there's also at the police and fire buildings, and then there's legacy nonprofits as well. And then over on your right are the programs, and I think most of you guys are familiar with all of these programs on here. The Community Recycle Fund, Household Hazardous Waste Collection, Christmas trees, the bulky items that we changed this year that we'll talk about later on today, and then also the extra trash collection, and again, the fall leaf collection that we're going on right now. Does anybody have any questions about any of this, any of these donated services?
Mr. Chair, I had just one quick question. On the legacy nonprofits, Sayard.
Welcome, and go ahead and state your name for the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Cord Stanley. I'm the General Manager for Republic Services here in Idaho, and thank you for letting me come up and speak. This is, we actually just kind of went over this a couple months ago about the donated services, but for our new commissioners, the total donated services is just under $400,000 a year that Republic Services provides the city of Meridian. That also, and part of that number also includes all those the sites that we service. We also pay the disposal of that material at the landfill on behalf of the city. We also do roll-off hauls at our transfer station for recycling. So customers or residents of Meridian can drop off recycling, and we pay for those roll-off hauls to be brought over to Western, well, it's now Republic, but the legacy Western building over there off Cole Road. So just wanted to provide you those facts for your situational awareness as far as donated services go. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And in addition to that, so next year in July, you'll hear more updated information, what Cord just talked about with the rates, and they'll go through a presentation, and because you guys presented it at the rates. So we'll see that again, but updated information.
Members of the commission, do you have any questions or comments on the information that has just been presented?
No.
Very good. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, which is the quarterly tonnage report.
Okay, so this one's July to September. So July, August, September information. So was kind of curious at the end of the year to look at the previous year. So this one's a little bit different than our usual quarterly report. So on top in the red or in the blue boxes, you have the recycling tonnage and the trash tonnage. So we have from July to August, or July, August, September. It dips down obviously from the beginning of the month because we're out of the, we're going to start doing the leaf season again, but we're out of that. And it's pretty typical for the trash as well, for both residential and commercial. And if you look down below, the purple boxes, that's October 2022 to October 2023. And it's pretty similar. One thing that we see is in the recycling, there is more of a jump up. Or the recycling is pretty similar. There's a jump up in the trash a little bit. So, and that's a little bit more of a spike, but that's also due to we had the spring cleanup that year. And this year, there's a little bit of an evening out of that, just not as sharp of a curve. So I'll be curious to know what 2025 looks like as more people know about the bulky item pickup program. But all in all, it's pretty similar as the previous fiscal year. And then this is just the breakdown of these 3 months, pretty similar to the other years. So residential recycling and trash, we have ranges from 400, almost 450, or 380 to 450 almost. And then the residential trash, around almost 5,000 tons. And then the commercial, which is in orange, the recycling, you know, it's hovering about the same, 150 to 170. And then the trash tons are a little bit lower than the residential. It's around almost 4,000. And then just looking at household, per household, the pounds, we're tracking pretty similar. In other months, it's around 20 pounds a household for recycling. And then for each month, and then around a little over 200 pounds for trash. And then here's a diversion rate. And I was curious, I looked at the previous fiscal year. So on the top is the one that we just ended. So you can see, you know, the October, November, December, where we have the October, November, the leaves. And then we have the, the spring cleanup a little bit. Obviously, the diversion rate's going to go down during that because there's more trash, and then it kind of goes back up. It's pretty similar, a little bit. There's a few differences in the previous fiscal year. I was wondering, we had a huge jump in November, and we just had a lot of leaves and organic waste in November of 2022. So that's what I would probably attribute that jump to. And then we did have not so much of a dip, but we did have for residential a dip during, which would have been spring cleanup, but we had trash or treasure, and people are still attuned to putting those two programs together. And then on the number side, on your right-hand side, the diversion rate is pretty much the same, a little bit less than the previous months, but not much for commercial and residential. And then this is just for these 3 months. So the solid waste composition, you know, we're starting to see the little green waste creep up some. And then, but still the majority is residential trash and commercial trash from the commercial side of things. And then the makeup on the right-hand side. Does anybody have any questions about the tonnage report?
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. I think we can go ahead and move on to the next item. Bulky item program updates.
I just had a comment from Meg. I guess she asked a question, but we can't hear her. So she's going to try on her phone. Yeah, so it's been almost a year. We started the new bulky item program January 2024. So it's been, yeah, a little over 9 months. So I just wanted to give an update about how many, based on the program, what have been seen in the amount of items that have been picked up. In bulky items are items that are basically, just for the new commissioners, too large to fit in. For example, this picture right here, it's too large to fit inside your trash cart. Couches, trees, anything like that. So I started with May 2023. That was the last time we had our spring cleanup, and there was a lot picked up that month, 2,448 items. So that's a lot for drivers to pick up in a 2-3 week time period. And then it kind of, calms down. It's less than 100. And then December, that's winter cleanup. So it jumps up again. And then we have the program change. So that's in red. So before December, I have it on this side. The total amount of items was around 3,207 items collected from May to December. And then going forward, January, the new program, I'm not sure if you guys know this, is that residents can have 10 bulky items collected throughout the entire year, anytime. So not hyper focused on 2 times during the year. So we definitely had an uptick in items being collected. We still had some high in May, but still not as much as the almost 2,500. And then for this same span in August, we collected, Republic collected more items, 3,852. And then ending in September, there was 4,342 items collected. So that's still a good amount of items collected. Does anybody have any questions? So you kind of see from the graphs of the tonnage report, how things are kind of, some of the trash portion of the residential side is kind of, the curves are leveling out a little bit more than there was these spikes during our events that we used to have.
Sarah.
Yeah.
So the difference in May this year is they had all of May to pick up all of those.
Yeah, the whole
items.
year.
The whole year.
They have,
Well, but if it was May compared to last year's May.
oh, yes. Yeah. They had May. And then even before May, we heavily promoted, along with Trash or Treasure, we have a new program. Don't wait now. Like, if you have it, you can get rid of it. So it's still not to inundate the drivers, when it came May. But yeah, that they didn't have that. Actually, I think it's just a week-long spring cleanup. So that's a lot of work. Yeah.
And Sarah, if I'm trying to remember out loud for the benefit of the new folks here on the commission. So before we do this kind of annual thing and extra treasure, and then followed up with people can have those leftover bulk items kind of picked up. And that caused some feedback because it was really hard for Republic Services to staff up to get everything that's left off in a reasonable time. and that caused some callbacks and different things. And so this program, people can kind of coordinate with Republic Services and then kind of get it scheduled so that they can kind of plan to have a appropriate truck pick up a load and make it worth the time to do it, like a little more efficient. And now the members or the public doesn't have to either hold on that in their garage all summer or winter. And you can just get rid of that as soon as possible. I think it was kind of the intent, and it's just take a year or two to get the public aware. It sounds like it's working already. That's kind of my synopsis as I remember it. Am I on track? I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and I've talked to Scott, route supervisor, and it's helped out a lot on easing the strain on trying to get everything collected. And basically you have technically don't have a week, you have one day. It's just a week of bulky item pickup, but you only have one service day. So that's a lot to do. But yeah, I think it's going to be helpful, especially moving forward if we do other programs to reduce that strain.
Members of the commission, any additional questions or comments?
Maybe two questions. I don't know if appropriate or not, but earlier there was a slide shown on organic waste. Is there any recycling or like a composting program going on in terms of like taking the organic waste and recomposting for, in stuff like landfill? And then this bulky items, do we restore, or is that they just go into landfill? Just curious.
Welcome back, Cord. Really appreciate you supplying the info on this.
We appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. So Cord Stanley again. So right now in the city of Meridian, we do subscription yard waste services, and then they actually get dropped off. We pick that material up and it goes to Timber Creek, and that's Mike McGurdio. He's the owner and CEO of Timber Creek Recycling. And they compost that material so that it's diverted out of the landfill.
Okay, so it's getting composted. That's good to hear. Okay. And what about this bulky items restoration? Are they going to the landfill, or they kind of go through some kind of restoration as well?
It depends on what the bulky items are. For like appliances and stuff, we take those to Meridian Transfer Station, and depending on what type of appliance they are, they're recycled, like they're sent to like Pacific Steel or something like that. But largely the bulk items are going to go to the landfill. And to provide just a little more color for the bulky item pickup, we're transitioning like spring and fall cleanups into all of our communities. That's kind of where the entire industry across the United States is going. They're kind of getting rid of these cleanups and they're going to scheduled bulk items. And it's just simple resource constraints, right? To pick up 2,500 bulk items in just a couple weeks in Meridian, you have to put down several more routes, 4 or 5 more routes on the ground just for those few weeks. And we can't keep staffing, and we can't keep extra trucks around for just 2 weeks of work or 3 weeks of work. That becomes expensive for all involved. And so being able to schedule it and level out that curve through the year, that gives us the justification we need to staff and have the trucks needed through the whole year. It just levels things out a little bit more. So.
Got it.
Mr. Chairman, can I add to that? In addition, we found that people don't like to be hemmed into one spring cleanup week, and they love having their own mini cleanup week whenever they want during the year, or several times during the year if they choose to do it like that. So it's a lot of flexibility for the residents too.
I like the optimization work you're doing. So coming from supply chain, we kind of think about this as an optimization of capacity. So
I'd imagine you have an appreciation for that, no doubt.
But thank you.
And then if I understand it right, so if I have my 10 items, I can use 5 this weekend, the couch, the love seat, and the whatever. And then I still have 5 more. It's not like I have 5 or 10 days. I have 10 bulk items. And I can kind of route them.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the commission, additional questions or comments? Thank you, Sarah. I think we'll go ahead and move on to household hazardous waste updates.
So I have it on the, so the household hazardous waste. So if looking at fiscal year 24, so October 2023, so October, April, and July, we had at the highest 14 tons. And at the lowest, I think it was December on 7 tons. So it kind of ranged from 7 to 14, which is a good amount of hazardous waste each month. And the hazardous waste program is, so throughout Ada County, we have a specific one that Meridian residents can use at the transfer station that Republic Services provides the space. But any Ada County resident can go to any one in Boise or at the Ada County landfill. So, and then that's on Mondays that specifically for in Meridian that they collect hazardous, like batteries, paints, insecticides. And then starting October 1st, but starting now, you can now, because before you weren't able to drop off vape or e-cigarettes, and now you'll be able to do that at any location. So that's really exciting because there are a lot of people using vape devices out there, and predominantly, it used to be, I have a picture from, I think this is from the EPA, but I think you'd see on the, so if you're looking at the e-cigarettes, on the left-hand side is disposable, then you have the cartridge and tanks, and then the chargers. It used to be that cartridge and tanks, reusable ones, were ubiquitous, where you keep your battery and then you just get a refill of whatever you're vaping. But now people have gone to disposable, and that's hard to disconnect the battery from the actual stuff that you're vaping. And so that's where we were running into problems of the hazardous waste companies not able to accept it, but things have been amended and now they're able to accept both, which is great because we don't want these in the trash or recycling or on the ground because they can cause fires in fire trucks. I think they have before caused fires. So it's a big deal. So that's very exciting. And we'll start outreach on that, but that's really exciting to have that opportunity for the residents. And then does anybody have any questions on that? And then I have some other stuff about HHW I can get into. So unfortunately, we are still going through the contract process. So our site, the Meridian site, is still closed. So it's closed to the end of October and maybe in the first week of November. But we will update our website and outreach to once we know if it's going to go beyond October. So we are telling residents, there's a sign at the transfer station, and we're also telling residents you can still bring all your things up to the Ada County landfill Fridays and Saturdays for that until things get going again at our site. And you can bring your vapes up there too, if you have them.
Members of the commission, do you have any questions on household hazardous waste information?
Mr. Chair?
Thank you,
Mr.
Sarah.
Chair?
Next, we'll go ahead and do plastics updates.
Oh, can you guys hear Meg?
So it's exciting times. More things can be diverted. So I know Rochelle alluded to number 5s and stuff being able to. So now we'll be able to put those in your curbside recycling cart. So like, I should have brought one. So like the yogurt containers that you get, you know, those are number 5s. Those pictures down there, sour cream, little yogurt cups, and cottage cheese, salsa tubs, margarine, butter. So, and squishy water bottles. So that's another thing, because now, you know, before, if you wanted to recycle those, you had to bring them to the transfer station. So now all of that can be commingled, meaning put all together into your recycling cart. So that's really exciting. So this is, which I think you guys, November? Yeah, okay, yeah. So this is going to be going out into the MUBs, the utility billing. If you get paper billing, you'll get something that looks like this, or if you get online, I think it's at the end of your, I don't know what it looks like online, if it's at the end of your bill, but you should be getting something in MUBs that talks about this along with the leaf information. So yeah, so one thing to remember is because they are, I'm forgetting the clamshells. Like it's heated differently. The plastic, so the chemistry is different. So that's why they can't pelletize it and reuse it. Yeah. So clamshells and plastic cups are still not accepted. And they're not well, plastic cups are accepted in the orange bag, but not clamshells. So those are trash. Still no 3, 4, 6, 7 or black plastic. And then the orange bags, we're going to update our information when we get information from the orange bag company. But yeah, number 5s, you don't need you can put those in your curbside cart instead of if you use the orange bag program. And yeah, and then lastly, we're hoping maybe next month, but soon, the squishy water bottle, we won't have to have that specific roll-off at the transfer station and pay for it. It'll just be turned into a regular mixed plastics. So 1s, 2s, and 5s. So I think that will really help people that, sorry, I think Meg is. Yeah, can you see anything about Meg writing down or anything like that? Okay.
I don't think you guys can hear me at all.
Hey, Sayard, can you hear us?
She can see it, she just can't talk to
Sayard?
us. I don't know. I think she wanted to talk.
Yeah, I don't think you can hear me,
So
Sayard.
we'll
I'm
change,
talking.
so we won't have, we're hoping at the end or beginning next month that will switch over to a mixed plastics. And I think that'll help the multifamily units. Because right now, if you do want to recycle your plastics and you don't have recycling opportunities at your place, you'd have to drive all the way to Boise to the Republic Services transfer station or MRF to do that. Does anybody have any
I can hear Meg.
on the updated plastics?
So can I. I think
Curious
they can't
what
hear us, and she must have a
all
setting.
that opportunity between
The plastics?
yeah, the additional plastics, whether that's an industry trend or it's just the updates with the cell to.
It's an update with, they can speak more, but it's an update to the MRF. Because that's a common plastic that can be recycled. So that's why it's so exciting that Republic Services is able to bring that common ability to the community with their upgrades to the MRF.
So, thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Nelson. It's 3 things really. The first thing was, we got switched from temp laborers on the line. So we had 28 temp laborers working every day at the recycling center when we purchased it. And we switched over to a company called Lead Point. And so this is a company that allows, we partner with them as kind of second chance jobs. So there are people who have maybe had a harder time getting employed after whatever issues, but they show up every day, 28 of them. They work really hard. So we're not retraining every day. Like this is a 1, this is a 2, this is like it's far less complex for them because they're permanent employees now. And so that was a huge upgrade right off the bat, and they're able to pull more plastic and they pull more high quality plastics off the line. The second thing is we are adding, and so that kickstarted it. And then the second thing is we're putting in a plastic max, which is an optical sorter. So as soon as that, the cardboard screen will be going in January, and the plastic max should be in around August. And so once that optical sorter is in, we won't have to rely on hand labor to pull those out at all anyway. It'll just, the optical sorter will start kicking out the plastics. And then most importantly, even once those plastics are segregated, we built a plastics polymer center in Las Vegas. So it's the first of 3 across the country. And so rather than downcycling plastics, which has happened across the country for a long time, into like polar fleece or screen doors or parking bumpers, these plastics, rigid 1, 2, and 5 plastics will actually be ground and washed and either pelletized or flaked and made back into food grade quality plastic feedstock. So Coca-Cola is our #1 buyer at the Polymer Center in Las Vegas. So plastics from here will go to Las Vegas, and then they'll be ground and washed, and then Coca-Cola will be buying 40%. And there are a lot of companies with sustainability goals on the front end, on the purchasing side, and incorporating recycled materials. So we actually have a long waiting list of buyers for the recycled plastic. So your yogurt tub will become a yogurt tub, and your water bottle will become a water bottle again. So, so it's kind of 3 things. It's the improvement on the line, it's improvement in technology, and it's building a new facility that can take it all. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I mean, that's great background. So it's nice to see a positive trend on the recycling.
Bill, I see you've got your hand up. You got a comment or a question?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me at all? How about now? Can you hear me?
Sorry, Bill, for some reason, we're not getting the audio from you.
How about now? No? Okay. Huh. Okay, well, they couldn't hear me either.
Yep.
Bill, go ahead and give us a test 1, 2, 3, see if we can get it through the audio.
Doesn't sound like it. I don't know how to change it from my end. I've got my speakers on, my choices. Nothing's changing on my end. It's all good.
It'll work.
It's okay. It's okay. He was really just trying to get on to tell him. Meg was trying to tell him something. I don't know how to try this. Let's see if I can change this to something else. Yeah, the few 2 devices I have on my computer. Hello, can you hear this? No.
Sure.
I think it's
Go
a
ahead and
setting.
Get some technical help to go ahead and get the
It's a setting
audio
on
going
their
for
end,
us,
because
connected
the
by
3 of us can hear each other.
teleconference. So we're going to jump ahead a little bit on to the Community Recycling Fund discussion. So the Community Recycling Fund program came about because at the time when we went ahead and delivered recycled materials to the municipal recycling facility, mixed anyway, and they were delivered to the mills, there was profits coming back, extra revenue coming back from that. And so the community went ahead and considered how that money coming back should be used. And it didn't really work out well for it to be a rebate or something like that. But it could be used for other activities that encourage recycling in the community. And so the fund was created to take those revenues when they came back. Since then, the recycling market has gone very negative, and there isn't necessarily revenue coming back from the general material. In fact, we have, as part of our monthly bills as account holders, a portion of that money goes to help the recycling facility operate. However, there is a bin that's over at the transfer station where squishy water bottles and other items can go to the transfer station. Those are directly delivered from the transfer station over to the recycling center, in most cases sorted into the individual components. But even so, Republic Services donates the transportation of that material plus other aspects of it. And as a result, we get a little bit of money back from those activities, about $1,000 a month. And certainly want to go ahead and thank Republic for facilitating that stream. It's been a while since we've done anything with that. In the past, we've run a grant program so that members of the community could go ahead and come up and ask for some money to go ahead and help them on a project, again, that promotes recycling or uses recycled materials. And the recycling fund then helps them out on making that project go. We've been looking at restarting that grant program. So the fund has been growing, and over the last 3 months, the last 3 shipments that went over there have returned $3,424.50. And the total amount of money that's in that recycling fund is $98,048.75. And at times we go ahead and discuss either using that money directly from the commission to put together some kind of a program that's included things like distributing reusable shopping bags, supporting the 2 art structures on the north and south side of the city on the main corridor. And sometimes it's grants to help other entities within the city or the public that has created some equipment that's put in playgrounds in the parks or benches or recycle bins in the parks and at some of the city services like the swimming pool and such. Certainly, we'll go ahead and retouch this issue and talk about it soon, but that's a little background of what it is and why it exists and what its value is at this point.
Mr. Chair, they thought they might have fixed the Zoom. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you. Go ahead, Bill.
So, Mr. Chair, actually, all I was trying to do, and I apologize, I was trying to say, Meg was trying to talk earlier, and Lorelei and I and Meg could hear each other on Zoom, but you guys couldn't hear any of us. So I thought if I got on, maybe it might prompt it, but it sounds like our city clerk was able to fix it. But Meg was actually the one that wanted to contribute a comment earlier.
Correct.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, my question was on the previous item, and I'm ready to move on. It's not significant, so thank you.
All right.
Well, welcome, now that we've got you on audio too, and if there's no further comments on the Community Recycling Fund, we'll go back into staff reports. And I believe there was no further comments on the plastics update.
Mr. Chairman, can you just remind me how much is in the Community Recycling Fund now? What's the total amount?
The total value in the account at this point is $98,048.75.
Thank you.
And there are no encumbrances. There hasn't been any expenses approved but not yet done or anything like that, so. So Sarah, I think we're done with the plastics update, but the next item is the Meridian Transfer Station squishy water bottle roll-off. Did you want to add some more to that besides what you just mentioned?
Oh, no, sorry, I was emailing Lorelai, let her know that we could all hear everybody. No, that was wrapped into that last slide. So I don't know if anybody has any more questions before you want to move on.
Looks good. I think we can move on to the, well, let's see. So I had given the stuff for the quarterly community recycling fund. And so that gets us down to the community art party. Meg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So for the benefit of our new members, 2 years ago, SWAC did a recycled art contest where we invited the community to submit art projects that were made from recycled materials. And then we kind of displayed that piece at the community art party, which takes place typically in September and is a project of the Arts Commission and the arts folks at the city. This is not a original idea. Lots of cities and communities do a recycled art contest or project of something like that to kind of promote recycling. So we found some samples out there. We kind of got a little application process together and did that. We did not receive a lot of entries for that. We did our promotion in the summer, and the thought process was if we did some promotion earlier, we could encourage students to participate while they were still in school. They would get the information and would be able to submit entries for the art contest. So their thinking was not to give up on it, but to try it again and really focus on doing more promotion. So with that in mind, we're planning for the art party in 2025 to participate in that with having a display of this recycled art that is submitted. So the next steps are to develop a plan for promotion. You know, how will we reach the students at schools, through art teachers, or is it through the district and so forth? What other ways can we promote the contest? And then actually doing the outreach and doing the promotion, receive those entries next summer, and identify the winners of the contest at our August meeting at the latest, so that we're ready to probably display the winners at the art party, which we would expect to take place in September. The other aspect of kind of tasks to do is soliciting some donations, say from local art suppliers or craft stores, other local businesses, to make to be able to give a little prize bag to the winners. We are not able to expend any city dollars on those prizes, so we would need to seek out donations for that purpose. So that's the main thing. Bethany is not here today, but she has volunteered to help as kind of part of a subcommittee for this project. I would see the work on it starting quickly in November, developing that plan so that we can start actually doing the outreach in January through schools and so forth, and kind of actively promoting it through the remainder of the school year, January to June, and receiving our entries no later than mid-July so that we can score them or choose the winners and get that all kind of buttoned up by the August SWAC meeting, which I believe is the 27th of August in 2025. So my goal here is to see if, just to kind of confirm that SWAC is still interested in giving this project another try, and then see if there's any additional commissioners that would like to help out with promotion.
For starters, members of the commission, do you have any comments on the information you just received?
Mr. Chair, I definitely think that we want to pursue the program. I think kind of work through some understanding how the finances work and how we have to do the community service. I think that's all understood now, and as usual, Megan's way ahead on getting started on time and getting ready for us. Let's do it.
I agree. We should do that. Meg and I volunteer to assist. Mark?
Thank you, Scott.
Further comments?
Yeah, I would also love to assist because I know a big part of it, when we previously did it, was how there wasn't a lot of youth participating in the contest. And I think your idea of going to schools is great. And I was also wondering about MIAC and like involving other things within this office with that. And I would love to be involved in it as well. I think it's a great idea to bring it back.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So I think we're on record having already voted to go ahead and pursue this for FY25. I'm hearing agreement that we still are interested. So I think you can take that the commission is supportive of the FY25 participation. Now with 9 members on the commission, the one thing we've got on this is if we have more than 5 members present, then we should be presenting an agenda and such. But we can't have 4 members on a subcommittee. And right now it's just Meg and Bethany. But if there's a member or 2 that wants to go ahead and get on this subcommittee and help move it along, I think it would be very welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I definitely just heard 2 volunteers. Did I not catch that correctly?
Okay, so your first commitment is here. Our youth commissioner, Divya, wants to go ahead and join your subcommittee. And Commissioner
Great.
Walters. So that's our subcommittee on the Art Week is Commissioners Sonnen, Commissioner Dinesh, Commissioner Walters, and Commissioner Guijardo. Meg, do you have more questions or comments you want to go ahead and present on this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do not. I will reach out to our subcommittee volunteers via email, and we will get going on this project.
In the contact, well, you can work with Sarah to go ahead and do the contacts.
Gotcha.
Well,
thanks, everyone.
Thank you. And that completes all of the items that are, well, in new business. So we'll move on to stakeholder updates. Republic Services, do you have anything more you want to add?
No, Mr. Chairman, nothing exciting at this time.
And then next would be Timber Creek. Mike, do you have anything you need to go ahead and update the commission on at this time?
Thank you. Mike McGurdio, Commission. Yeah, we got our first round of biosolids sold in Nampa. So that was really cool. That shipped out last week to Eastern Idaho, and that's been rolling really well. Our leaves are rolling out really well. That campaign just started with the city, and that's going well. The transfer stations plans are getting submitted. And let's see here. What else do I need to update you on? Yeah, I think the ASP pads are the biggest hit right now. They're rolling and cooking well. I would like to offer up a tour to all you guys whenever that's convenient. Now that the system's up and running, I'd really like to show all you how the computer system works. So if you guys would like to schedule something, I'd like to give you guys a site tour. Oh, so sorry. I'm Mike McGurdio. I own Timber Creek Recycling. We recycle all the organics from Republic Services, the Ada County landfill and Kenyon County landfill. And we compost, make mulches, cattle bedding, crushed concrete, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Members of the commission, do you have any questions or comments on the material Mike's presented?
If you have certain days that you do I don't know if you have certain days that you do the tours, you can email me and I can set up some type of, I don't know if anybody is.
We could set up a doodle poll. 'Cause
Yeah, that's what I
really,
was- okay, thinking. I wasn't sure if you had certain days or not, like anything like that you do the tours.
yeah, I'd say if we want to, I don't know how quick we can do this, but I'd say preferably before Thanksgiving, before the weather hits hard.
Yeah.
Or we could do it next spring, either one.
Oh.
But yeah, love to have you out for a tour and show you the place. But a doodle poll, we could send that out to everybody.
Yeah, I'll work with you on that, yeah.
Sounds great. Anything else? All right, thank you.
Thank you. That completes all the items that are on the agenda. If there's anything I've forgotten, please speak up. Otherwise, we move on to our next meeting will be January 22nd of 2025. Enjoy the holidays. And as always, we really appreciate you volunteering and participating in what's going on. If there's any subjects that we could pick up that you think might be good to vet or propose from the public, go ahead and contact myself or Sayard, and we can go ahead and get them into the agendas. Unless there's anything else, taking a look at all of then I will go ahead and call the meeting adjourned. It is 1 minute after 5, and we'll see you next year.